Welcome to the Sports Show. Mike, Max, Patrick, Royce, Eric Nelson in this weekend, the one and only Sid Hartman.
Yes, sir.
Sid, a couple of weeks ago, the Twins swept the Chicago.
Blue here today.
Yeah, we're blue across the board. Look at this, man. You forgot you didn't get the memo.
You didn't call me, Pat.
A couple weeks ago, the Twins swept the Chicago White Sox in 4 games, and we had decided that they were a much improved baseball team. Maybe not a contender, but a much improved baseball team. I don't feel that way today.
Well, even Reishi, who had gone both ways, I think all of us run both ways, but they're not a very good team. I mean, they talk about trading people. They probably got 2 or 3 players on the whole team, 4. If you count Perkins and you count the catcher, who else do they have? Maybe a couple of those young kids. They don't have anybody. They don't have a good baseball team. I can't blame Gardner. I can't blame the coaches. They have no talent. I mean, they can't get any hits. They get shut out by Sales the other day.
Well, he's pretty good.
Wow. That's the least of their problems. It's when T.J. House is shutting them down, I get nervous.
Yeah, they won today to avoid the sweep, but Patrick?
Well, yeah, they're going to make trades like they made for Candice Morales. They're going to get a guy who used to throw hard, and maybe he can recover from shoulder surgery, and they're going to trade Willingham for some suspect. They're not trading for prospects. They're trading for suspects. They're going to trade, Baltimore might give them something for Suzuki, a guy that has a chance. And, if you want to trade somebody and maybe get something, trade Dunsing and Fiend. There's 2 relievers. At the trading deadline, people want pitching. That's what they want. They want pitching, they want relief pitching, and they could trade Dunsing. I think they will trade Dunsing. Fiend's making no money, and he's pretty good, so they might keep him. But those are the kind of guys. They're going to make those trades, but it's not going to. What it's going to do is help them lose more games this year. So instead of losing 92, they're going to lose 98. But, maybe you make 5 trades and 2 guys end up helping you.
They make 5 trades. I can't believe they got 5 players at trade.
Well, I just told you who they were, Sid. I just told you. Dunsing, there's a market for Dunsing, but you're not going to get the second coming of A-Rod or anything. You're going to get marginal prospects.
Gardy almost seems to me, Eric, like he's going, okay, there's not much more I can do. I can control what I can control, and the rest of it, there's not much I can do.
It's stale. I mean, I go there a lot. There's no energy, no vibe at the ballpark. And Sid's saying, who do you go there to watch? Maybe Danny Santana, maybe Brian Dozier.
Chris Sale, that's the problem.
Suzuki or the opposition. Perkins is a great closer, but he doesn't get in a lot because they don't win a lot of games. If there's nobody to blame, I don't know how, but there's nobody accountable for this. Nobody's being blamed for 4 straight years of a mess.
I say whoever scouts. I don't know who drafts who and how they decide, but they've missed.
They missed a lot.
And then the big problem is that, okay, you could have seen Hope around the corner here with Sano and Buxton and some of these other guys. Well, Sano's now a year behind what his game time was. Buxton's a year behind, and now Cole Stewart has a shoulder impingement. You know what? Fellas, they become the Timberwolves. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. They become the Timberwolves.
Baseball philosophical question. Do you think Aaron Hicks would have been a better player if he never played in the big leagues yet? Do you think he ruined himself last year, or do you think it's just your talent is your talent and it's going to show at a certain age?
No, he was advanced enough. I mean, find out if he can play. It's what his problem was? All the time coming up the minor leagues, he had to tell people congratulating him for his patience and how he got walks. Hit a double. Stop walking. Hit a double.
Yankees are going to wind up with that Cobb, is that his name? What's a great pitcher for
David Price?
Price, yeah.
Tampa?
You watch.
I don't think
What
they
can
got
you give
enough.
him?
Maybe as a free agent, but they don't have enough minor league
I think
prospects
Tampa
to
can
give
still
him.
make a run, though. They had won 9 in a row until today.
Cash.
I think that's a team to watch.
No, they can't. You can only pay so much money. They won't let you give them cash.
They won't?
No.
Price has one more year after this year.
Yes. They'll trade him in December.
Yeah, he's going to stick around. They could still win that division. That American League East is not that good. I saw them last weekend.
Pretty unstable.
Yeah, they had a 9-game winning streak
moves
until today.
PV now.
Yeah, they got beat by Ortiz today.
That's an amazing situation.
Yeah.
They got the $40 million payroll. Is that what they got?
Bad
Tampa?
ballpark.
No, it's a little more expensive the last couple of years. They're about 60 now. So
You're talking about Tampa.
60.
Tampa.
But Joe Madden is.
That guy took that club over from New York and bought it. See, they forced another owner out. And that guy made more money last year than almost any club in baseball.
With the revenue sharing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's an interesting way to do it. Although your value of your
You know what you do? You know what the solution is in baseball? It's the solution it is all the time. Wait till next year. Maybe. Maybe something will happen. Maybe something good will happen instead of bad, you know?
Who do you quickly before we go to break? Who goes if this thing keeps going? Do you think Terry Ryan will resign? Do you think?
Terry Ryan's good for life, but he could resign for health reasons. And then if Terry Ryan goes, because I think Gardy's gone. If Terry Ryan goes, I think they'll hire from the outside and blow it up.
That's what I would think.
Yeah, if Terry stays, then they'll just bring in a new man.
I thought the other day, Jim Pohlad made a pretty good statement. A story with Phil Miller when he said, yeah, I keep on hearing about how these great prospects up and what they're going to do in the major leagues, but they don't do it.
Well, they haven't. Who failed?
Pohlad
I mean,
said
RRC failed, but
he's talking about guys that come up and.
Yeah, but who has expectations right now?
No, I mean, none of the real advertised, the publicized guys are here yet, so you don't know.
They've taken a step back.
I mean, this idea that Aaron Hicks was this phenomenal prospect is nonsense. He was here because they didn't have anything else. He was never put on the same plane as Buxton or Sano.
They've had 5 quality center fielders: Torrey, Gomez, Span, Revere. Now Santana's the guy. I mean, they can't complain about not having center fielders. They've had a ton of them.
Santana over Revere.
Take a break, come back, stay with us.
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Canterbury Park 24/7 Card Club. Don't forget the Card Club at Canterbury Park. Cambria, makers of quality quart surfaces. Ticket King. For the best price on tickets anywhere, try Ticket King. And Soundpoint Audiology. Life is worth hearing.
Quality. It's the result of shared values. The joy found in an honest day's work. Respect for true American craftsmanship and the need, not the want, to get things right. It's the result of remembering your roots, being forever humbled by how far you've traveled and forever hungry to push on further. Quality is a result. Quality is who we are. Cambria. Family owned, American made. If you have a collision at 25 miles an hour and you're not wearing a seatbelt, it's like falling from a 2-story building. At 40 miles an hour, it's like falling from 6 stories high. And at 60 miles an hour, if you're not wearing your seatbelt and you crash, it's like falling from 12 stories high. Buckle up. A message from the Minnesota Department of Public Safety.
The Twin Cities' best Subaru deals are in full swing at Luther White Bear Subaru. Take a look. This is the summer to discover. The fuel-efficient all-wheel drive Outback leased for just $269 a month. Rather buy? Save at White Bear Subaru with 0% financing on every new Outback in stock. This is the summer to discover Outback. What a shot! I'm Dan Moen, and thanks for watching. Huh? Luther White Bear Subaru, Highway 61, just north of 694 in White Bear Lake.
Are you watching how fast you're going?
I didn't know I was speeding.
I was going down a hill.
Speeding?
I didn't see the sign.
I don't think so.
But nobody else is on the road.
My foot fell asleep.
I gotta pick up my kids at daycare.
Is it because I'm driving a red car?
I didn't see you. My wife's going into labor, sir.
I didn't know. I was looking at a different gauge.
I'm not really from around here.
Something must be wrong with the speedometer.
Trust us, we've heard it all. Now hear this. Extra speed enforcement is on Minnesota roads. There's no excuse for speeding.
But I always go this fast.
See why more people are coming to Audi than ever before at Audi Minneapolis. Experience the legendary performance and handling of an A4 2.0 T Quattro. Lease yours for only $379 a month. Plus, Audi Minneapolis will make your first month's payment. Or try out the luxury and power of an A6. Lease for just $4.99 a month. The Summer of Audi event at Audi Minneapolis on 394 at General Mills Boulevard and at AudiMinneapolis.com.
Main Street is filled with hopes and dreams. The only thing you need is the right partner. The beacon of light that shines, that says we are in this together. That is Beacon Bank. Locally owned and community committed. They understand what you need. And they are your personal answer. Your friend in business and in life. Allow the folks at Beacon Bank to be a part of your life because they make dreams come true. Beacon Bank, it's a member of the FDIC and an equal housing lender.
Looking for a nice, big, juicy rack of ribs?
Fabulous chops, huge steaks, and the Buddy Bowl? Then J.D. Hoyts is the place for you. Hoyts opened in 1983, and Mike Andrews and his partner John White have kept this Minnesota tradition at the top of the food chain. Managing owner Pat Montague gives us a tour.
At J.D. Hoyts, enjoy a relaxed atmosphere, great food, friendly service, private dining room, second to none happy hour, and great outdoor dining, just blocks from the new ballpark.
Located at 394 in North Washington, locally owned, nationally known, Hoyts.
Locally owned, nationally known, J.D. Hoyt stopped by there last night, and our thoughts and prayers go out to Mike Andrews' family, one of the proprietors and owners of J.D. Hoyts, and many other restaurants passed away this past week in Palm Springs, California. You knew him well, Patrick.
Oh, what a good guy! My favorite Andrews moment is we used to both use the same video store up on Winnetka and 55. Dead of winter, I'm taking some movies back one day. I think it was a Lambo, or it might have been a Ferrari. I don't know which. Big.
It was big.
Comes rumbling up there, red, beautiful Ferrari. It was Andrews bringing his movies back. I said, "Sir, I'll take your movies in for you here, sir." I said, "Yeah, don't you have some truck you can take out in the middle of winter?" What a great guy, and fought the lung cancer for a couple of years and played a lot of golf. But he was a character, to
He
say
had
the
a
least.
good run, didn't he?
Yeah.
I knew him fairly well at a time. I used to go to the Loon a lot. And
When you were back in your active single days.
And in those days, when he first got to the Loon, he worked there.
Oh,
he
yeah.
was there all the time. He and John Stein.
Yeah, John Stein.
You know what else he owned?
Huh?
You know what else he owned?
Dixie's.
That little gold mine up on Franklin and Lindale too. Liquor Lyle's.
Yes, which he still has a piece of. Yes.
Yeah, he loves Hoyts and he loves the other, but he loved Liquor Lyle's.
Loyal patron back
I
in
used
the
to go
day.
to that bar too, Franklin and Lindale.
When you couldn't pick
Liquor
one up
Lyle's.
at the Loon, you'd go over to Liquor Lyle's. Hey, we went to another funeral yesterday. I went with you to the Bob McNamara funeral. Explain Bob McNamara. It was quite a... Boy, Bud Grant and Joel Maturi did quite a job of eulogizing him.
Well, there's a lot of stories about the guy. I mean, he was amazing. I mean, University of Minnesota's never had anybody like him. He was on that campus every day. Once he shut his restaurant down, they should have put him on a payroll because he was an employee without payment.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, that's even better.
He probably was the most important guy in that stadium.
TCF Bank Stadium.
He was unbelievable. I mean,
What was he like as a football player? Describe him as a football player.
Fantastic.
great. I lost a friend for a while. Paul Brown was a very good friend of mine, but then Grant Brown calls me, asks me about drafting him, and I says, draft the guy. The guy will be the best running back in the National Football League. And the next thing I know, I helped Grant sign him, and he was great up there. I went up and saw some games.
Did you see some games in Winnipeg?
Yeah, he was unbelievable.
I think
he's
I think
unbelievable.
he's in the Canadian record book, 5 or 6 touchdowns in a game. But he was
Bud said 6 yesterday.
he was a running back up there. But then I think when he played in the NFL, it was as a defensive back.
You wrote a column about it, though, going to watch him, as a kid, seeing him. What was that like? What do you remember?
I was a 9-year-old kid. This Iowa were playing and hated Iowa. And the place was so full, my old man got us in the end zone. and I was kneeling in the front row of the end zone behind the line, and the old man, I don't know how he shoved us up into the front, and that was the day McNamara brought the touchdown back. And I remember as a kid seeing him run into this pile of humanity at midfield, come out the other end and score the touchdown. I also remember that Earl Smith brought a punt back for Iowa for a touchdown that would have won the game for Iowa, and they called it back for clipping. And it's one of the first times I heard an F-bomb in my life. Just sitting there looking up at him, and he was about this far away from me when he found out there was a flag.
Did they question the call? Or
Iowa was not happy.
We only hear about the Minnesota calls that got questioned over the years.
He had an ACL operation.
Bob McNamara did.
Yeah. And Fessler was coaching then, and Fessler was right at the operation, and he came back and played in less time than any guy in history.
Are you sure it was an ACL?
Huh?
You sure it was an ACL?
Yeah.
They called it other stuff.
Back then they had a surgery too.
He and Pinky, Bobby Cox was a quarterback, and Pinky would say, well, the offense is whether Cox runs right or left.
The big advantage of for Bob as a fundraiser was, though, he could always call Pinky first. Bob was great at racquetball and lunch.
Yep.
Pinky was great at taking over distressed companies and making lots of money.
I sat many times at Max Sports Bar with that crew, and that was a crew, man. He had Dewey White and Jerry Grogan, and who knows who was going to, Jerry Burns sometimes, but it was just fun to sit and listen.
Yeah, well, Mom raised those 7 kids, and
6
I
brothers.
got to know him in high school. Go out to Hastings to see him play high school football.
He must have been dominant, huh?
Completely dominant, but what a job she did with those kids, and every one of those kids turned out to be a big success. She was a great lady. I got to know her well.
Mrs. McNamara.
Yeah.
Yeah, and his wife.
They had nothing when they grew up.
I love that. That's one of my favorite. He told me that last time I had a long talk with him before the Iowa game last year, and I said, so is your wife a Minnesota girl? He said, nope. When there was a great movie in the 50s about Where the Boys Are, it was about Fort Lauderdale Beach, right? So the McNamara and his crowd decided that also had to be where the girls were, right? So they went down there. He was already a pro football player. And they were walking down the beach in Fort Lauderdale, and he looks over, and there's this young gal. I think she was 16 or 17 then, and he said, boys, I'm going to marry that girl. She was from Long Island, and he had to wait a while to court her because she wasn't legal yet, but he ended up marrying her, Annette.
Annette. And
54 years, I think.
And Dick Jankowski had the joke of the day yesterday at the funeral. Bob learned to love tennis so much that he married Annette.
Well,
Sid liked that one.
And in fact, they'd go
was,
to Naples for a couple of months every winter and play tennis every day, he and the wife. So
His car was full of Gopher.
Yeah, the Gopher flags. That was his symbol.
Then he threw that party every year at Jack's Cafe to raise money to keep that handball place going.
St. Anthony.
But then he turned it into
a
dinner for the Gophers the last few years.
Yeah. Take a break, come back, stay with us.
Attention, please get a pencil. Announcing a hearing breakthrough, a microchip that is so small it can fit on the head of a pen. Worn hidden entirely in your ear canal, making you hear clear as a bell. And it's proudly made in the USA. Do you feel left out of conversations? Is it difficult to hear words in noisy environments? Do others say that you listen to the TV or radio too loudly? Do you feel like a bother to others due to your problems hearing? If you answered yes, you may qualify for this new chip in the ear. Only 50 participants are needed to try this microchip, so get a pencil. Call now to see if you qualify. This revolutionary chip actually mimics the natural sound selection of the human ear. With multi-core microprocessors, technology used in the most advanced computers, sounds are analyzed and classified each millisecond, controlling noise and making speech clear. Do not wait. Call now to see if you qualify to wear this revolutionary new microchip.
In a world full of compromise, the Audi A3 takes a different path. Get uncompromised design, the style and presence of Audi in a lighter, smaller form, uncompromised performance, a lightning-quick turbocharged engine, and race-bred S-tronic transmission. Uncompromised luxury with standard leather seating and panoramic sunroof. Lease your A3 for only $299 a month. Plus, during the Summer of Audi event, Audi Minneapolis will make your first payment. Stay uncompromised. Audi Minneapolis.
Yeah, Audi Minneapolis. Stop on by, see Charlie and the gang drive off in an A6, test drive a Q7. You can't go wrong. Audi Minneapolis off of General Mills Boulevard. Welcome back to the Sports Show. I went down and watched the Vikings the other day. And in talking to you, there was a point in time when you're upset that they fired Leslie Frazier, and it sounds like you've kind of made that transition now, and you're okay with the new coaching staff.
Here's the thing. I don't know anything about how the new coaching staff's going to do. All I know is the first 6 games, they got 6 tough games. I don't think their defense, which was really good, terrible last year, it could have been great if they could have stopped those 6 games they lost. I think they're going to have a hard time replacing Allen. They're going to have a hard time replacing Henderson. They're going to have a hard time replacing Kevin Williams. I could be wrong, but I've been wrong many times. I'm going to be wrong again.
That's true.
I don't think they're going to have a hard time replacing Aaron Henderson the way he played last season.
Yeah, that was a non-factor. Yeah.
I think they've put a lot into this Linval Joseph. They think he's going to be a space eater. And if you connect the dots a few years ago when Pat Williams left, the defense started to downslide. They need a Pat Williams back there in the middle. They're hoping he can be that kind of guy.
But the magnitude of the position. Anthony Barr was drafted 9th overall. Teddy Bridgewater, 30, 31, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And people don't even know Anthony Barr exists down there. Teddy Bridgewater is the focal point back there.
I guess he can give you the most boring interview you've ever had in your life.
So far, so good. I think he's trained, you know.
He can give you the cliches. In fact, I saw Dave Campbell from AP. I saw him send out this thing. Overheard at training camp. Teddy Bridgewater wants to do whatever he can to help the Vikings win. Thank you very much, Teddy. I don't know. I didn't like him in college the 2 times I watched him extensively last year, but everything they're saying about him, I think you read, it's a little more optimistic than I expected it to be, so they must like what they see.
He's tight with Norv. I think he's clicked with Norv early. And they looked at him 6 times. They had to like what they saw. I mean, because you can't fail on another franchise quarterback. They can't afford to.
I think the Bears have improved more than they have defensively.
Just with Jared Allen?
Huh?
Just by signing Jared Allen?
Well, you got some other people, too. They do a pretty good job of signing free agents. I think the Packers are going to be, as long as they got Rodgers, they're going to make it tough. And we'll see what Detroit does with a new coach. I mean, I think this will be a little tougher than it was last year.
Do we have another character as a wide receiver here? Cordero, is he going to be a beauty?
Yeah, he is.
I know he's a talented guy, but he's going to be a guy who doesn't want to practice on Wednesdays.
I don't know if he'll be that type, but he's going to be a
take Wednesdays off.
He's going to be a character.
He's going to be busy on Sundays.
They figured that out early in
Hey,
his
by
tenure.
the way, congratulations to Percy. He did go through practice the first day in Seattle before he missed the next day.
He did miss the next day.
Yeah,
Good. Wow.
Yeah.
I was worried about that for a minute. What do you think this coaching staff's biggest challenge is going to be, Eric?
Defense. They gave up 480 a year ago. They blew 4 games late against Dallas, Cleveland, Baltimore, and Chicago.
What do you fear about Mike Zimmer being the head coach?
He's a lot like Leslie. Comes in as a defensive coordinator, never been a head coach. He's more vocal, he's more energetic. But
I obviously made him hire an offensive coordinator.
He's hired stronger coordinators, in my opinion, and he can lean on Norv. Norv can run the offense. Edwards should do a good job on the defense. And Norv's kid's the quarterback coach. So it all sounds good now, but when the bullets fly, that's when we find out.
I think Zimmer will be a lot tougher than Frazier was. If that'll have anything to do with it, I don't know. I think they got a better coaching staff. They certainly got a better offensive coordinator and a better quarterback coach, I think, because Turner's and his son. But they got to score more points, I think.
Boy, we were lucky to land Turner's son for the coaching staff.
We got Edelman's son, Flip's kid. All the kids got to get jobs, you know.
Patrick, do you think the Prefer thing goes away or keeps living on?
I think it's pretty well going to go away. I congratulate the Vikings for bringing him out Thursday, having him talk about it. It might have been all, he sounded much more sincere than Spielman telling me that, boy, he stood up and and took credit for his mistake. Yeah, after he was confronted with more evidence, but I thought Prefer, sounded sincere, and
he was. I was standing right by. He was scared.
Klui's going to have to.
But isn't that the question?
Klui's
I guess
just going to have to
Kluy
pack
next,
it
huh?
in, and he's going to have to pack it in and get on with his
But
life.
you know what may not go away? Migratory birds. They
Dead
better
birds.
fix that glass roof. The Audubon
I gotta
Society is in
fix
on this.
that.
Pete is coming in. This is going to get interesting.
I have changed the name of it to the Avian Slaughterhouse.
Yes. They better do the right thing. That's all I'm saying.
Take a break. Come back.
Wait till the first.
If you guys could go on a free shopping spree anywhere, where would you go? I'd go to the grocery store. Pizza, ice cream. I'd go shop for clothes. You know where I go? I'd go to Ticket King. Ticket King! At Ticket King, you can buy great seats for the Vikings, Christian Ponder, the Wild, Zach Parise, the Timberwolves, Ricky Rubio, and of course the Twins. We love the Twins. Yep, this is where I go. Vikings, Twins, Wild, Timberwolves, Gophers, theater, and concerts too. Justin Bieber! Hey, I like him first. For details, go to ticketkingonline.com. Any ticket, anytime, anywhere. It's the real thing. It's Ticket King. Right, Dad?
Couldn't have said it any better myself.
That's for sure.
Main Street is filled with hopes and dreams. The only thing you need is the right partner. The beacon of light that shines that says we are in this together. That is Beacon Bank. Locally owned and community committed. They understand what you need. And they are your personal answer. Your friend in business and in life. Allow the folks at Beacon Bank to be a part of your life because they make dreams come true. Beacon Bank, it's a member of the FDIC and an equal housing lender.
Beacon Bank, responsive, reliable, reassuring. Beacon Bank, great partner for you in business and in life. Welcome back to the Sports Show. I still think Kevin Love ends up in Cleveland in a three-way deal. What do you think?
Well, my personal opinion, if Cleveland is offered as rumored, Bennett, the #1 draft choice this year, and the #1 in the future, I would think he would grab it. I mean, I think they'll make a deal eventually. We'll see what happens. I'm told by one NBA guy that I know pretty well that the salary thing is probably as difficult to match this one as any trade he knows about. And he said that might hold the trade up.
They can figure that out.
Yeah, but they got 5.5. They only have, what's Love making? 15.5?
15.5.
So they got to get to 80% of that. So if they get the Bennett and Wiggins, they're already at 10. And then if they get a #1, that counts for like $3 million or something.
But then figure that.
I think they're going to flip Bennett to Philadelphia for Thaddeus Young anyway.
Yeah, but then you got to get rid of J.J. Barea and.
Well, that's Philadelphia. They want to get. Flip wants to get Philadelphia in there because Philadelphia has to take some veterans to get to the minimum.
Right, and
they're so far under.
And Flip loves trading with the East. He doesn't want the West, so he doesn't have to.
I don't know why he wants to get rid of Martin. I thought Martin, when he was healthy, was a pretty good player.
But if you end up with Wiggins and you already got Levine and Glenn Robinson has anything, I mean, Martin's just, what is he? I mean, a veteran that you don't need because you're not going anywhere.
Who's the worst defensive player you ever had with the Lakers? Sid.
I don't know.
Who's the worst defensive player you ever had with the Lakers?
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Canterbury Park 24/7 Card Club. Don't forget the Card Club at Canterbury Park. Cambria, makers of quality quart surfaces. Ticket King. For the best price on tickets anywhere, try Ticket King. And Soundpoint Audiology. Life is worth hearing.